A debate is another word for an argument. That is not to say that it is an undisciplined shouting match between parties that passionately believe in a particular point of view. Each student gets 2 minutes to say their speech and state their side. After their time is up, the court gets an opportunity to answer questions. This usually lasts about 2 minutes as well.
The debate you're about to watch is a debate, student Congress debate, which is a model congressional debate simulating the U.S. Senate. And the bill, I believe, was written by Ian Shannon, which is, if passed, it would remove the clause "under God" from the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to establish the point that I am clearly aware that it is not required to recite the pledge. Now, some of the opposition to this bill might even use it as a point, saying, well, if it's not a law to recite the pledge, then why does it matter if we change it? That's completely false. It doesn't. As a means of uniting those in America. And yet, I agree with this intent that the Pledge of Allegiance is something that unites us. It's a very patriotic thing. It's something that we should all, that I think we should all say it, and we should all feel proud to say it, that expressing our love for our country. But as it's currently worded, the phrase "under God" is no longer necessary. The phrase now has become something that many people find almost discriminatory. And if they do feel that it's discriminatory, then they don't wish to say it. And if they don't wish to say it, then they're not a part of it. They may not even feel a part of the country. Now, if a pledge, like as the word proposes two options, either saying it, going against religious beliefs, and feeling unified, or not saying it and feeling left out for sticking up, saying it for your religious beliefs. One of the major parts of democracy and one of the major parts of debate is listening to every single voice possible, not just having the majority rule, but listening to the minority, listening to everyone. But how can we do that when almost a quarter of the voices don't even wish to speak? So I strongly encourage you that you vote for this bill. The current phrase, the phrase "under God," I don't see how it's necessary to the bill. If the opponents of this bill can prove that it's absolutely 100% necessary, that's their job.
Okay, so the debate we did was on whether or not to remove "under God" from the Pledge of Allegiance. My point of view on that is that in America we're a melting pot society. We have a whole bunch of different people, a whole bunch of different beliefs, and "under God" refers mainly to one religion, but it could refer to maybe there are 3 or so religions that have a single deity. But I just wanted to feel it, because the pledge is a very American, very symbolic American thing, and I just feel like it should represent America more. As a whole, debate has really taught me, it's taught me how to argue well, which is a good skill to have. It's also taught me how to research well, which is also a good skill to have for college and whatnot. But debate, in general, it mainly teaches you how to work with other people a lot, because you have to relate other people's viewpoints and argue against them, and work with other people to get to argue stuff that you like or that you don't like. So it's a very good class to teach you how to either argue and work with people and research. My favorite part about debate is probably congressional debate, which is where we debate the bills, which is where we debate the "under God" bill thing. But my favorite part of debate in total is just arguing against other people's viewpoints, and just getting to see other people's viewpoints and arguing against them. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it's still fun either way. You get to argue, and I don't know, just a whole bunch of fun.
Alright, first of all, the easiest and simplest point to make is that you just don't have to say it. I mean, for God's sakes. It seems to be my opportunity one right there. Alright, second of all, I see God in the sense of the pledge as an idea, a fundamental set of beliefs that unifies our country. That was the reason it was put in. Okay, so that's how I see God in the terms of the pledge. Just because you say it doesn't mean you have to go to church this Sunday and I'll baptize you and you have to start worshiping God every week and every day. That's not what it means. It's just an idea and set of beliefs. And a few people are talking about the democratic process. The minority is heard, but yes, the majority will rule. And as we're hearing, the minority is speaking, but in this great country, the majority of people are Christians and Catholics, anything that falls under that. So the majority will rule. And like I said earlier, back in 54, Eisenhower didn't put this in just to say, let's just stick it to the atheists and people who don't believe in God. But they put this in here to unify the country, not to discriminate.
All right, for the taking God out of the Pledge of Allegiance bill, my personal point of view was that we should not pass the bill because I personally believe in God. I'm a Christian, and so I just believe that we need to have that in there, and I think it's important to say that and be reminded of that every day. So what debate has taught me for taking it into the real world is that research is very important, public speaking, and I personally was scared to like to get in front of people and to talk and stuff, but it really taught me to like open up and like be open with the class and really share my point of view, and it kind of helped me get over that fear of speaking, and so I think that'll help me later in life. The thing I like most about debate is that Ms. Yeager really created an open environment, and so I wasn't scared to like voice my opinion, and I knew that I wasn't getting laughed at or like made fun of afterwards, because she did a really good job of like handling the class and making sure that nothing got too out of control, and so I was able to voice my opinion and all that without getting like made fun of or something like that.
All right, so how do you get to a vote, whether or not on this bill will it pass? You can, if there's no one else that wants to speak on the other side, you go to immediate vote because you don't want a series of Me Too speeches. So let's say someone speaks against taking God out of the Pledge of Allegiance and the presiding officer calls for a speech in favor and there is none, you go to a vote. On a controversial issue, that's probably not going to happen. You're always going to have someone that wants to speak on the other side. And so how do you ever get to an end of that? Well, we use parliamentary procedure just like they do in the chamber, and someone would call for the question. And calling for the question means, all right, everything that can be said has been said, and at this point we're becoming repetitive. And in order to have, when you vote to call for the question, that means we're ready to vote. That takes a 2/3 majority, and there's a reason for that, because that ends debate.
Well, I really like debate because we can talk about a lot of issues that are sort of pertinent. There's a lot of different kinds of debate. We have debate like we did today that's fairly formal. Really good to get to talk about certain issues and sort of express your opinions, and it can make you better at communicating and sort of better at thinking and critical thinking and sort of making sort of impromptu arguments.
All right, so the question is, why is debate important? And I would say, why is democracy important? I'm clearly very biased on this issue, but it is the best training to be a citizen in this country. Our country is based on the idea that we don't need a king or a queen or a dictator, that the people in this country can make the best decisions given the competition of ideas. And they argue about it, and then they put all the information out there, and then an educated public can make the best choice. And that's what debate is. It teaches you how to argue with research and to come up with the best policy idea. If you look at the history of our country, the best ideas have been made with really active argument with all of the possibilities, and you get a choice. When you have a few people that just decide what happens for everyone else, it really doesn't go very well. Vietnam, other areas where there was not active debate in the congressional floor have not turned out to be our best decisions. So debate teaches you public speaking skills, it teaches you how to argue, and that's not yelling or screaming. It teaches you logical thought and analysis, and basically makes us a better society.